Hanaa Shalabi is a 29-year-old political prisoner. 35 days ago, she went on a hunger strike in protest of her violent arrest. A Physicians for Human Rights doctor visited her Wednesday, saying she's in imminent mortal danger and may soon go into a coma, advising she be transferred to a hospital immediately. Shalabi was released in October as part of the prisoner swap deal, when the Israeli government exchanged over 1,000 Palestinian political prisoners for Gilad Shalit, a soldier captured in Gaza in 2006. A month ago, she was rearrested and again placed under administrative detention, a military order used by the Israeli authorities that allows for indefinite arrest without trial or charge. Shawan Jabarin is the director of Al-Haq, a Ramallah-based legal organization. He was himself held under administrative detention many times.
Administrative detention means to take you from your home, send you to the prison without charge, without questions, without anything. They give just a vague reason that you are a threat on security or in a public order in the area. Your lawyer has no access to the information. There is no evidence. There is nothing, for instance, against you. You can't defend yourself before a judge or before them. They called it secret file.
Hanaa Shalabi is from the village of Burkin in the northern West Bank, near Jenin. The Real News met with her family, which set up a protest tent against her arrest.
قرية بركين هي غرب جنين طبعا فيها كنيسة ثاني أقدم كنيسة في العالم الفصائل الفلسطينية كلها موجودة بها طبعا.
Is this the kind of village that gets attacked by the army a lot?
طبعا بالتأكيد بيجوا دائما ما فيش عليها ولا أي تهمة يعني صار لها 4 شهور طالعة مع صفقة شاليت ما فيش عندهم شيء عليها يعني.
When she was originally arrested in 2009, she was also placed under administrative detention for 25 months. In those 2 years of arrest, she was never charged or presented any evidence on her case.
Yeah.
Shalabi's protest came at the heels of another high-profile hunger strike by Khader Adnan, who survived 66 days before the Israeli authorities decided to release him. Representing both cases was Sahar Francis, a lawyer and the director of Addameer, a prisoners' advocacy group based in Ramallah.
Any kind of activity could be a threat to the security. There's a crime in the military orders that talks about activities threatening the security of the area. This activity could be sharing in demonstration. This activity could be sharing in the resistance against the wall, for example. All these activities concerning the wall construction in the villages every Friday, could be part of these activities. Palestinians from political parties that they were opposing Oslo were subjected to administrative detention. What the security emergency, very high security situation that was in the Oslo time that justifies arresting 800 people under administrative detention just because they are opposing Oslo process.
In the occupied West Bank, there are 2 legal systems, one for the Israeli settlers and one for the Palestinians under occupation. The legal system the settlers are subject to is Israel's civilian system, while the Palestinians are subject to military law and are not citizens. Here, Francis explains what happens if a settler and a Palestinian are arrested for the exact same crime.
If the settler would be arrested, as I said before, he would be treated according to the criminal civil procedures, which means he would be transferred for any police station, whether here or inside Israel, and within 24 hours he should be brought in front of the court. And of course, they can interrogate him maximum for 30 days, and then they have to charge him. They can ban his lawyer from visiting him for a couple of hours or a couple of days, that not more than 20 days, 21 days. While if a Palestinian would be arrested for the same acts, first he could be held for 8 days without any judicial review. And then, the first 2 days would be banned from lawyers' visits. Then if they want to interrogate him, they can interrogate him for 90 days without any charges, and they can ban the lawyer all these 90 days from visiting him, and then they can extend this interrogation period for another 90 days.
But there's also another difference, which is how the person gets arrested. I mean, I remember, for example, in the case of the Itamar murder, right? The entire village of Anata was basically shut down for a month, and something like 100 people were arrested. So there's sort of no...
If not more, yeah, of course. They will never, if there's a settler that committed a crime, they will not raid the whole settlement in order to find this person or start arresting all of the settlers.
في بقى 3 سيارات وفي جيش مشاة جاي حوالي يعني 100 جندي مع مجندة واحدة كل جايين زيارة. بدي هنا نحكي معها 5 دقائق.
هلا هم كانوا حاطين كل يعني كل هذا الشارع،
كل الشارع كل الدار. لما هي رفضت تطلع معهم بالجيب مشان يحكوا معها، طبعا دشوا عليها هناك وين السيارة لورا شوية وبلشوا يضربوا فيها بالسلاح بالبنادق. طبعا انا دشعت حميتها قدر ما استطيع، يعني ادز جنود 10 جنود واستنفار وتخليع ابواب وصياح وحالتهم حاله علي هناك. والمهم مسكت المجندة والمجندة مسكتها وقلت لهم ممنوع حدا يكرب عليها، هم بيعرفوا احنا بالاسلام احنا عندنا العرض والشرف اغلى شيء. فالمجندة ما حكتش ولا كلمة، كانت تبكي.
Khader Adnan's hunger strike became an international campaign due to his wife's activism and led to his release, scheduled for next month. He's from the village of Arabe, also in the Jenin region. According to his wife, Adnan is a respected political activist who played an important role in the recent reconciliation agreement between the two major parties, Fatah and Hamas. When he was arrested, the Israeli prosecutor accused him of being a spokesperson for the Islamic Jihad Party, a role he filled for 4 months in 2005.
نزلوا من هناك على سطح جيراننا، ومن سطح جيراننا على الحديقة اللي هون. هاي الحديقة اللي هون اللي عند جيراننا بتكون تحت شبابيكنا مباشرة. فأنا سمعت صوتهم هم يحكوا، يعني بيحكوا عربي 100%. وبعدين أجوا من هون واقتحموا البيت لما خرج عمي، يعني كانوا متخبين هون وحاطين درع بشري اللي هو الزلمه اللي كان جاي ياخذ عمي بسيارته. بجوز يعني انا اتوقع انهم كانوا يوم ما اجوا اعتقلوا تقريبا 200 واحد اللي كانوا. خضر اول مره بدخل تحقيق، يعني 8 مرات اعتقل. دائما من اول ما يعتقلوا بودوا اما على مجد. هو 21 يوم في التحقيق، من بدايه التحقيق دخل اضرابه عن الطعام. لكن لما دخلوه مثل ما حكى هو في المحكمه انه لما دخلوه على الجيب حطوه على الارض، الجيب ارضيه الجيب، وكل الجنود صاروا يدعسوا عليه وخبطوا عليه، وإشي يحكي له ان شاء الله انا كان نفسي افجر هذا الراس. نزلوه دفعوا دفع، يعني اجى في الحيط، بعدين من الحيط على الشارع، يعني تخشمت انفه وتمه وشفته، يعني نزل منه الدم. فمن البدايه يعني بلشوا معاه في العنف، بعدين دخلوا على التحقيق. ومن البدايه من التحقيق يعني المعامله السيئه في التحقيق، قلت لك والسب والشتم والاهانات المستمره. ومن ضمن الاهانات يعني هاي اكثر شيء يعني كانت هي مستفزته، اللي هي المسب والشتم والمسبات اللي يعني ما فيش يعني قاموس في اللغه يمكن يتحملها، يعني اللي هي بتتعلق فيه وبناته، يعني ان هدول البنات مش بناته وهدول البنات حرام، وانه ان هدول البنات ان يعني انا بمارس معهم الفاحشه بعد ما هو يعتقل، واني انا بدور على حل شعري بعد ما هو يعتقل. هيك يعني بهالكلمات هاي، يعني فهمت علي. وبعدين جايبين له صورته كبيره هيك وحاطينها على الارض وصارين يندعسوا عليها، والضابط يمسح الغبار عن اسفل قندرته ويمسح فيها. فيعني كان اسلوب يعني اسلوبهم اسلوب اهانه لخضر يعني. فكان هو الرد عليهم انه امتنع عن الكلام والطعام.
The Israeli argument for why they keep so much of the evidence secret is because they're based on intelligence, which if they were to disclose who's the source of the intelligence, they could actually risk the informant's life.
That's part of the arguments, but there's other cases, and this is why we say they also violate not just the international law, but even the internal Israeli laws and restrictions on the use of administrative detention in the cases where they fail to prove and to bring evidences for the charges, and they don't have enough evidences to prove it in front of the court, they use administrative detention.
So if I understand what you're suggesting is that instead of administrative detention being used for extreme cases of very serious threats to the Israeli society, it's used in cases that would not stand up in proper process?
Exactly. They use it they can use it in every case, not just in the very serious security cases where they really can prove that something is going to happen in the future, and actually I'm going to stop this act from happening by using the administrative detention. This is the purpose actually of the administrative detention even in the Israeli legal system, but they're not using it in this way.
According to Addameer, before the Shalit deal was even completed, the Israeli army arrested an equal number of Palestinians to those it released. Since December, when the last phase of the deal was completed, many of the released themselves have been rearrested. A recent report shows that 40% of the Palestinian male population has been in Israeli jails.
عندك فكرة ليش عمالهم بيستهدفوه؟
في البداية كانت الاستهداف لأنه كان ناشط في الجامعة، كان ناشط طلابي يعني حركات طلابية وهتافات وإشي، وكان هو عضو في مجلس الطلبة لأنه عضو في لجنة المصالحة الدولية الفلسطينية، وكان نشيط سياسي يعني.
لا هو الجنود الإسرائيليين الوضع الخطير عليهم، لا إما بحطوا مؤبد حكم وإما بيختالوا بالطيران، يعني ما فيش مجال يحطوا إداري، يعني ما فيش إداري بكبش عليه إشي احترازي. هي ليست نشيطة سياسيا بالتأكيد، يعني ما فيش، بجوز لظروف العائلة أو خوفا من اللي بيصير على الأرض بغزة أو اللي بيصير بالضفة، ما بقدرش أحدد، يعني معلومات هي سرية عندهم.
The government department in charge of the occupied territories, Kogat, refused to comment on the cases, referring inquiries to the IDF. The Israeli army, in turn, refused to be interviewed, promising a written response that, at the time of writing, failed to arrive. For The Real News, I'm Lia Tarachansky in the occupied West Bank.